Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Bring Her Back. And this movie is directed by Michael and Danny Philop. Probably got that right, probably not, but I always try. But they're the same directors as Talk to Me, and I personally enjoyed that movie a decent amount. And for a first feature film, I thought it was really good and enjoyable to watch. And this is their follow up film, and while I do prefer Talk to Me over this movie, there are some elements about this movie that I do feel as though are improvements, and it didn't feel like a first feature film. It actually felt like there were some improvements from memory. And I didn't feel as though I was watching a student film, just like growing a little bit. I felt like I was watching professional filmmakers actually trying to put effort into a story and to make it stand out and be somewhat unique. And I thought that acting was pretty good, and Sally Hawkins, she was my favorite part of this whole movie. The characters were also likable or interesting, and that helped my experience also. And the opening scene for this movie was kind of creepy and just showing a death scene, and it was all recorded on like a VHS tape, and that was something that was enjoyable to me about it. And honestly, whenever we cut back to showing off those VHS tapes just being shown on TV, it kind of reminded me of Sinister from 2012. And there were moments in this movie where characters were obviously being manipulated, and never once did I feel as though it was forced. For the most part, I felt as though it was all natural and made sense, and the violence in this movie was fun and memorable, and something that I definitely took away. And this movie is definitely heavily inspired by other things. Pretty much the plot of the movie is just in the title without getting too much into specifics. And there were also some really good scenes in the second half that I thoroughly enjoyed. And overall, I like the second half much better than I do the first half because the first half was just like gaslighting and it didn't really offer much for me. And didn't really go anywhere and was kind of awkward for me to watch, and I was just not really feeling it. Whereas the second half is where things started to be paid off and felt like a much better film and knew what it was and fully embraced it and just became a much better movie. And the second half of this movie is what I'm going to remember the movie for. I'm not really going to be thinking about the first half all that much. And there were some plot holes in this movie that made me feel as though things weren't all that believable, especially in the first half, like characters making really stupid decisions. I'm like, why are you doing this? Sometimes when they were trying to show off disturbing imagery, sometimes it came across as a little goofy, in my opinion. And there were just a few couple tiny moments where it felt like characters teleported just for the sake of drama, which was kind of weird. And could have been handled a bit better and didn't need to happen in the way that they did. And although those moments are just like a couple tiny things, I do feel as though things could have just been a bit better so that I didn't feel as though I was just watching a movie and instead I could just be experiencing what I was being shown. I want to watch a movie where the things that I'm being shown doesn't feel manipulative in a sense that's distracting to me, if that makes sense. And there was also a small reference to talk to me, whereas characters just said, talk to me, talk to me. And whether or not that's like a reference to their previous movie or not, it was kind of funny to actually see in the movie. And although there are some aspects where you can definitely question as to whether or not a character should be doing a certain thing or like, why are you doing this instead of doing it better? But they do kind of give a justification for certain characters, especially the antagonist characters. Like, it makes sense as to why certain things that they do isn't perfectly done. And that's about all I have to say about Bring Her Back. I didn't feel as though the runtime was too long. I feel as though maybe one or two things could have been shortened a bit and just got into the story a bit quicker. But overall, still like the movie overall, and I thought it was pretty good. I would definitely recommend that you check it out, and I don't really have much else to say about it. I'll have to rewatch Talk to Me to see which one I prefer, but I'm going to say Talk to Me was the better out of the two for now. But this is just a first time viewing for me, and this movie is currently on HBO Max, so if you want to watch it, there's a way to do so. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Bring Her Back a 6 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Bring Her Back, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Women is Losers. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.